Okay. My name is Jazmine Gonzalez, and my research is on the harmful culture of masculinity in sports. The notion of masculinity has existed since the dawn of civilization and has since then had a profound impact on society. It consists of a set of beliefs such as anti-femininity, achievement, adventure, risk, and violence. George Orwell said nearly all sports practiced nowadays are competitive. The normalization and tolerance of violence in sport is the most documented socio-cultural risk to date for all forms of violence. Sports shape how men perform and experience their masculinities, which in turn contributes to both positive and negative health outcomes. This led me to my research question: to what extent does the harmful culture of masculinity contribute to unhealthy behaviors in athletes? Regulations will ultimately assist athletes in solving the issues that stem from traditional views on men, maximizing their performance in sports and building healthy relationships. For instance, hostile behavior presents danger to both athletes and individuals they surround themselves with. Serious sport has nothing to do with fair play. It is bound up on hatred, jealousy, boastfulness, and disregard of all rules. Research has shown that men who participate in organized sports exhibit more aggressive behaviors like bullying, violence, physical aggression in both athletic and non-athletic contexts. The Domestic Violence Act says that any act that harms or injures a partner will be considered domestic violence by law. 1 in 4 women in the United States will likely experience domestic violence during her lifetime. Domestic violence is shown to be the highest in arrest rates of the NFL by a frighteningly high 55.4%. Athletes are more likely to commit acts of violence against women after a game because it is difficult for them to turn off their aggression. For example, Chicago Bulls forward Scottie Pippen grabbed his wife's arm and shoved her into a car the day after Chicago lost the playoffs. Similarly, a study done by professors at Lancaster University showed the risk of domestic violence abuse rose by 28% when the national team won and a 32% increase when the national team lost. This kind of abusive behavior should not be justified in any way. The solution proposed to this problem is the addition of anonymity to all domestic violence cases. By doing so, accusations of favoritism of elite athletes could be removed and the cases would be more fair. However, due to the accessibility of high-quality lawyers, the cases are sometimes dropped, which is why some athletes do not take domestic violence as seriously as they should. On this occasion, women are restricted from their justice due to the ignorance of the crimes athletes commit against them. Some may argue that masculinity is beneficial because it raises men to conquer what has been normalized to be the ideal standards to be a man. However, the consequences of this may outweigh the benefits if not practiced healthily. The most notable physical struggles in athletics is disordered eating and overtraining. Prevalence rates of disordered eating are around 16 to 26% in male athletes. Men strive to fit what it means to look masculine and feel pressure to have the body type that is socially accepted. Eating disorders can result in low energy, excessive loss of fat and lean mass, dehydration, and difficulty in relationships and interpersonal functioning, which can all have negative long-term effects. Young athletes are beginning to self-bully in the form of risky training practices that are somehow seen as masculine. A research at the Kaiser Family Foundation found that 73% of all kids ranked famous athletes among the most admired people in their lives. Kids emulate athletes' behavior, which can compromise their health, happiness, and overall well-being. Theodore Roosevelt said that a man must develop his physical prowess up to a certain point, meaning the extremities of dieting and overtraining are not necessary to be viewed as manly. Men learn to normalize pain as part of the sport experience. Therefore, initiatives must be taken to ease dangerous behaviors present in hypermasculine men. Prevention of overtraining would involve avoiding stressing the body's homeostasis excessively through exercise. It is also crucial to examine the reasons for dieting among adolescent athletes to develop preventative strategies. This can be reached by educating men of their own health over the social standards they fight so hard to attain. However, research found that men do not easily seek help when they need it. There's a definite negligence of health when it comes to men in sports because of the stigma that receiving health care is feminine and weak. Organizations are working to equalize the number of health concerns men face, including the Movember Foundation, which focuses on men's health and life challenges. Most men have some degree of emotional suppressiveness and turn towards physical activity to alleviate the buildup of emotions they struggle with. A study conducted in the United States found that 21.4% of male athletes self-reported clinically significant symptoms of depression. Many men suffer out of silence, of fear of rejection of their peers, as well as revert to alcohol and other substances to relieve emotional and mental pain. Psychologists strive to promote healthy father involvement in treatment. Emotionally distant father-son relationships produce toxically masculine men. Emotional knowledge supports the management of emotions in stressful situations on an individual and group emotional level, therefore maximizing performance in sports. Targeting methods that make men feel comfortable expressing their feelings will increase their engagement and effectiveness in treatment. The solution for emotional stability is improving emotional competence, social engagement, and building trusted relationships with professionals. Men that are willing to admit that they need help are more likely to fix their emotional instability, which is highly beneficial in sports where emotional competence and communication is crucial. The popularized culture of masculinity in sports suggests many detrimental effects. Minimizing the long-practiced beliefs of what manliness is requires a difficult transition for men who have been raised to act this way. Masculinity should not mean putting up a rugged act in order to feel accepted. Promoting positive masculinity in sports will not only allow men to embrace their true selves, but their leadership and confidence as well. Through gradual change, the population can evolve to a place where men do not feel they have to confine themselves to a label. Optimistically, masculinity will become a word in our vocabulary that does not have such a fearful negative connotation, but provoke a more healthy and positive nuance. Thank you. We're excited.
A couple of questions.
Okay.
Question number 1. What evidence did you gather that you ultimately didn't use, and why did it not fit? Why did you not use it?
While I was gathering research, I did find more information towards the violence, within the sport itself, with teammates. But I found that domestic violence, when talking about violence and aggression, was more of an important issue to address, since it not only affects in sports itself, but beyond that, the relationships of athletes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then second question. What additional questions emerged from your research, and then why are those questions important?
When doing my research, I knew there was an issue beyond just masculinity in sports itself, and can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Sure, of course. No, it's okay. What additional questions emerged from your research, and then why are these questions important?
Okay, so I knew there was further research I could have done into masculinity, but I know that would kind of go off into sports, but not into sports. So I was asking what other things are triggering the cause, but I decided to just go with these perspectives because I knew that it was best to address in regards to sports. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Good?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.